Hi, I'm Kaplan America, reporting to you live from the New England Motorcycle Museum. And today, we have the world's finest Honda CR250R. It is absolutely stunning from top to bottom. We'll let Ken tell you all about it. God bless America. Hi, this is Ken Kaplan, owner of the New England Motorcycle Museum. And today, I'm going to show you one of the finest Honda CR250s ever. This is a very significant motorcycle in the history of motocross racing, and I can tell you that because why? Well, I've been there every year at the Nationals since 1974, and I've watched the evolution, and this is a very significant bike. In fact, I'll go as far as to say this is the nicest Honda CR250 in the United States. The nicest 1979, quite possibly one of the nicest ones in the world. Maybe in Japan they might have a better one, I don't know, but this is absolutely pristine, museum quality, absolutely completely kitted out motocross Fox bike from front to back. It has the best of everything. It has the full Fox factory forks kit on the front. It has the Fox factory swing arm in the rear, the aluminum swing arm, the Fox factory air shocks, and it's got a few unobtainium items that you rarely see even in pictures that I'll touch on later. Why is this bike significant? Well, in 1973, when Honda came out, a little history lesson, when Honda came out with a 73 CR250R, which is this model over here. What year is this one, Kenny?
74.
This is 74. Okay, this is a 1974. 73, 74, 75, and 76 were essentially the same. The frame remained relatively unchanged with short travel, and this thing put the motocross world on its ass, basically dominated in 1973, and all the manufacturers played catch up, and by 76 they were left in the dust by what the manufacturers had come up with. So in fact, Honda actually skipped a year. They did not make a Honda CR250 motocross bike in 1977. Why? Well, they were behind the scenes. They were building this bike right here. This is a replica of the 1977 CR250, which was in fact a huge improvement and much more sophisticated and advanced than any other bike from the era. What was different about this than the other bikes? Well, to start with, it had a full 12 inches of travel on the stock forks and a full 12 inches, or actually 11 inches travel on the rear shocks. There were the motor was an absolute hoot. It was capable of winning nationals right out of the box, the 1978 CR250 engine. I'll get into that in a little bit, but the frame itself was a complete departure from that right there. And take a look at the geometry of that frame right there. That's what the 76 and what they were running in 77, the privateers ran. And in 1978, you could walk into your dealership and buy this. Obviously, without all the factory trick parts, and we actually have a 78 CR250, which I'm going to show you a stock one here in a minute, and I'll have Kenny edit that clip in. That's in the shop, but if you look at the swing arm geometry on this, how trick this is, and how advanced and how beefy it is, it's light years better than what they were running on the production bikes back then. So it's true factory trickery. This bike, again, the motor was capable of winning a national right out of the box. Honda claimed it had 36 horsepower stock. It has a chrome bore on the cylinder, similar to today's Nikasil coating. It had a 6-pedal reed valve, and it only weighed 56 pounds. It was a much more compact engine. If you look at this motor, look at the cases of this motor, and then look at the cases of the previous Elsinore 250. In fact, the Dirt Bike magazine and some of the magazines, one of them quoted the term, it's like the engine external cases were hydroformed around the internal, so there was no wasted space on the engine. So it's very tightly built around the clutch and the ignition and the gearbox. It's super compact and very light, and it was made out of very top of the line materials at the time. It had magnesium engine covers, aluminum used extensively on the engine, and magnesium. In fact, the brake hubs were magnesium also, much lighter weight material, and the frame was a much higher quality chromoly construction than the steel they used in previous years. Was a cheaper quality metal. So you had a high quality chromoly frame, magnesium componentry, aluminum componentry right out of the box. But what was the shortcoming on the 78? And they called it a CR250R. The R stood for replica. It was a replica of the 77 factory RC500M. And if you look at them pictured side by side, they're virtually identical, except for the RC500 had a 400cc motor. This was a 250cc bore and stroke, so it'd be capable, capable of racing the 250 class. So it was virtually identical. So the privateer in 1970 could buy a factory-based machine that the engine was powerful enough to win a national stock out of the box. In fact, Joe Keller was quoted, and I heard him say he preferred the stock engine over a modified one. They were so good. So this bike, Motocross Fox, who was a leader in suspension technology, all of the factory riders were running these Fox air shocks on their bikes. All the fast privateers were. And in fact, the Motocross Fox factory race team had these fully kitted bikes that had the full upgrade. What was wrong with the stock forks? Well, they had 12 inches of travel, but they were a lot skinnier and they flexed and they were poorly sprung and they had no dampening adjustment and they had no air kit on it. So they were just pretty crummy design, the stock forks. The Fox factory forks addressed all those issues. Why didn't everybody run these? Well, they were extremely expensive. Only the very wealthy or the factory supported riders could afford a fully kitted bike. The rear suspension on the CR250R 1978 was it had a very wimpy steel swing arm that flexed, and the shocks were horrendous. They didn't have piggyback reservoirs, and they were oversprung and poorly dampened. So the stock suspension on the CR250 was awful. You couldn't win a national with that. You had to upgrade the rear shocks and the forks, or forget about it. You were not going to be competitive even at the amateur level unless you were superhuman. So Fox came out with this full setup here. They included the Fox factory swing arm. It's a banana style shaped swing arm, and look how beautiful that thing is. It is like it just came out of the box. The Fox air shocks are in mint condition on this bike. Also, I didn't see any damage on these, which they're notorious for getting damaged in race conditions. So this is like a bike that just was in a time capsule for 40 years. It's like a factory race bike from 1979, just that came out of a time warp. It's absolutely pristine front to back. It has the Sun racing rims on it, which were a Fox factory option. It has the heavy duty Buchanan spokes. It has brand new tires on it and tubes. The forks appear to be NOS, new old stock. There's I noted no damage on the chrome on the tubes. The triple clamps are in perfect shape, and every nut and bolt on this bike, get down to the nitty-gritty, look at all the nuts and bolts on it closely on the engine cases. Everything is pristine. So it's a very low-hour bike that was restored to concours condition and has been in a private collection for many years. It has this bike came stock with a very lightweight aluminum fuel tank. This is the original fuel tank. It's aluminum in construction, as was a lot of the other componentry to keep the weight down. This bike weighed 218 pounds out of the box. And with 36 rear wheel, or actually 36 engine horsepower, not rear wheel horsepower, rated for 36 horsepower at 218 pounds. It was an absolute rocket ship. They called it the Red Rocket, and it was absolutely a screamer. My brother bought one of these brand new in '78. I remember leaving the dealership and riding it down the railroad tracks behind him on my RM100. I couldn't believe how fast this thing was. It was shooting rocks, like you wouldn't believe, roosting. So. And I got to watch him race that thing for 2 seasons. He loved it. The thing was a rocket ship. So anyways, back to this bike. It's got everything. It's got the Motocross Fox custom paint job with the Fox factory logos on the top. It's got it's actual Motocross Fox factory stickers. These aren't reproductions. These are the originals. Has an aluminum gas cap with a free flow tube. It's got the Fox handlebars on here, painted bars. It has the, I think it's a Gunner, I can't read it without my glasses, but the logo on it. But I think it's a Gunner gasser throttle. Has the aluminum clutch lever with the new perches, aluminum clutch lever and brake lever. Again, everything from on the front end, the entire front end is all custom Fox factory stuff. The engine, a couple of the components I mentioned earlier that are the unobtainium. I've never seen a pair of these on a bike. These are the Fox factory head stays. I've never seen one personally on a bike. I think I've seen some in a photo before, but I couldn't really confirm. But these are the actual Fox factory head mount, and also the shock protectors, which are 2 items, and the chain protector, which are...
I just looked at probably 50 photos on Google Images of the Moto-X Fox CR250, and we couldn't find one with the shock protector right there. So extremely fast,
absolutely stunning. This is a museum display bike. It hasn't been ridden since it's been restored, other than across a parking lot here and into the building. So it's in pristine shape and ready to go. If you wanted to take this out and win an AHMRA National, all you got to do is set up the suspension for your weight, which is mainly by the air pressure and dampening settings. So, and gear it for the track you're going on. And if you don't win, well, you have no one to blame but yourself. Frankly, I think it's too nice to race. I would keep this on display, on museum display, because it's absolutely pristine. Has the Fox factory side covers, front number plate, graphics, and she's just absolutely beautiful. Pro taper grips, has the original factory. It was made in July of '78, so you could have showed up in July, late July, on the line with this thing and just absolutely smoked everybody. The engine has been completely rebuilt. Every gasket, seal, all the major seals, the crankcase bearings, upper and lower, piston, everything's brand new on it with just a couple heat cycles. It has a brand new DG exhaust pipe on it with not a single ding in it because, well, it's never been ridden off-road with that pipe on it. Has a matching DG silencer. Has the oversized pegs on here. These are PFR pegs. The original factory, lightweight aluminum shifter and kicker. Left-hand side kicker, just like the factory works bikes were. And it just abounds with trickery. It's a true factory style race bike, front to back. Rear fender is in perfect condition. Frame rails are perfectly straight on the back. The bike's never been flipped or damaged. And the bottom and the frame rails are about as nice of a set of 78s I've seen ever. It's just in mint shape. It's got one little ding right here. But the front part is perfectly straight, as is this right here. It's never been banged off the rocks. It's got one little ding right here. Still has the factory side stand mount point. And the right side of the frame rail is also in mint condition. It's one thing I always check on a bike. First thing I check when I'm looking at a bike, ask anybody, this frame rail is in mint shape also. Just about perfect. So truly a world-class survivor. Again, this is the nicest 79 CR250R, I think, in the United States. We've had some real premium ones come through the museum because we focus on off-road stuff. That's what we do. But this one's just an absolute 10, every nut and bolt on it. I am a Antique Motorcycle Club of America judge. I judge at the shows. I would rate this one extremely highly and quite likely to win in shows for the Resto Mod class. It's just that nice. It's just stunning. So is there anything you'd like to add, Kenny?
I think you just about covered the bike, Pops. Thank you. We can get it shipped very affordably. Message us your zip code for a shipping quote, or call us with any questions at 860-454-7024. This is Ken Jr. on the mic. I'm the sales manager in the cycle shop and help you out, answer any of the questions that you might have on the bike. We welcome the new owner to display it in the museum. We wish that we could keep this and a handful of other bikes from the collection that we purchased from a local collector in Connecticut this past week, but tell them about the bikes that we brought in, Pops.
Oh, God. Well, not only this one on here, but right behind you, we have a brand new NOS, never been run, never been ridden, Honda Z50R Christmas Special. This will be coming up next also. God, I wish we could keep these bikes for the museum, but we spent about $6.5, coming up on $7 million, close to $7 million on the facility, not including the bikes. So we just don't have the funds to keep them, and we have to sell some of these beauties to keep the lights on. So this is an NOS, brand new, never ridden. Think about it. Who had the foresight in 1986? Each dealer only got 2 of these in a crate. I can tell you that the last set of brand new ones known to exist in the country just sold at Mecum for $49,000 for the pair. That's $24,500 for this bike right here in a box. What's it worth out of the box? Well, in my opinion, the same. But we'll let the market decide. There'll be a reasonable reserve on it, and good luck finding. I mean, I've seen restored ones. It costs $5,000 to restore one, but most of them were destroyed by kids, and you can't get the original parts. They're unobtainium, or if they are obtainable, they're extremely expensive. So, brand new Christmas special, brand new Motocross Fox 250 replica, and 35 other classics came from the local collector, including the CR125R right here, which will be coming up today also. Another absolutely stunning restoration with the 480 forks and progressive shocks and sun rims, just all ready to rumble. So that's the first 3 of 35 coming down the pike here. We started with one of the finest from the collection here, this 250. We've done absolutely nothing to this bike. It's exactly the way it came to us. It had not been anywhere but in his living room since it was done. He did not ride it at all. And when we purchased it, his friend said, geez, I thought it'd never leave his living room, but he's moving south and retiring, and wanted it to go to a good cause. All proceeds, 100% of the proceeds from this bike are going to fund the New England Motorcycle Museum as we continue to improve here. We'll be having bike nights 31 weeks in a row with live music here. We have 6 3-day events, including the 500cc shootout at the compound coming up April 26th. If you're in town and you want to hit that event, please call us. It's invitational only. We have room for 40 bikes. I've got about 15 slots left. So if you want to come to the invitational, please hit us up. Please like the channel, subscribe, share this video. That's how we grow. And we appreciate your support. Hope this goes to a good home. I hope whoever buys it leaves it here for a little while. We'd love to have it here on display. So good luck bidding on it. God bless Japan for making kick-ass bikes like this, and God bless America for having the tuners that massage them to perfection. And what a blessing to be doing this with my son here in Rockville, Connecticut. This is Monday here. This is my day on a Monday. So I was looking forward to coming in. I couldn't wait to see this bike. So I definitely feel blessed, and thank God for the opportunity to do this. God bless America. God bless everybody listening. Please share this video, and thank you.